We have some news right now. Donald Trump will be signing an executive order today that requires all commercial truck drivers in the United States to speak English, according to Breitbart and Caroline Leavitt, Trump's press secretary. The executive order states, quote, Donald Trump believes that English is a non-negotiable safety requirement for professional drivers, as they should be able to read and understand traffic signs, communicate with traffic safety officers, border patrol, agricultural checkpoints, and provide and receive feedback and directions in English. Caroline Leavitt highlighted how he wants truckers to speak America's official language, because remember, if you recall, earlier this year, Trump signed an executive order that made English the official language of the United States, and will now require all these truck drivers to speak English if they want to drive trucks in the United States. Now, a lot of folks are going to be like, well, we have a lot more pressing issues than truck drivers having to speak English. But alas, here we are. I'll do a full breakdown of this on my Substack, link to my bio, so subscribe for free, spread the word, and follow along to stay up to date on all the news you need to know about.
Developing tonight, truck drivers who aren't fluent in English could be removed from the road. The president signed an executive order that would force drivers to pass English literacy tests, arguing it would make roads safer. Tonight, KENS 5's Rania Kaur has the perspective of Texas truckers on both sides of the aisle.
Eagle Pass Cecil Tucker helps operate a trucking company, delivering car parts and flatbed rocks from Mexico.
In my opinion, he's penalizing the Hispanic drivers from Mexico. Yes, there's bad apples in every bunch, but I mean, how come my opinion, they're being singled out.
A new executive order signed by President Trump requires drivers to now be proficient in English, passing English literacy tests, or else they'll be removed from the road.
They can text English, they can read English, but they can't speak it, and they're penalized.
Tucker says they already have drivers who are quitting.
We're very small. We got 5 trucks right now, from 11 to 5. I've already had 2.
And it's going to limit the industry.
Who's going to pick up the loads from Monterey, Saltillo that are required to go door-to-door services to Michigan, to Kansas City?
While Tucker believes this is going to negatively impact the industry, the Texas Trucking Association has been pushing for these measures.
In a statement, the Texas Trucking Association said in part, President Trump's executive order restoring English proficiency enforcement for truck drivers is a necessary and common sense step to improve public safety on America's roads. Importantly, it is addressing the issue where it should be addressed at the federal level.
The United States is already short enough on truck drivers as it is. All right. I don't think this is fair, and I don't think, in my opinion, he's penalizing the Hispanic drivers from Mexico.
So truckers across America voted for Trump, loudly and proudly, over and over again. And now they are finding out what that vote really brought them. It's not more jobs, it's not better pay, it's not respect, it's relative, empty pots, and new rules that are actually making life harder for them. This is a full-blown FAFO moment. Hello guys, welcome to my channel. If you're coming across this channel for the first time, my name is Rosemary. Kindly consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Before we get to the video, let me play a few clips on the same, and I'll be back with my commentary. All credit goes to the original creators of these videos.
Hey everyone, Donald Trump just signed a new executive order that requires every truck driver in America to read and speak English. No excuses, no apps, no help, no translations allowed. If a driver gets pulled over and can't pass an English check, they can be kicked off the road immediately. Trump says it's about public safety. Thousands of immigrant truckers who help move our goods could lose their jobs overnight. That means supply chains could get even worse. Food, medicine, basic goods could face major delays. This isn't about driving, it's part of a much bigger plan. Trump is pushing right now to make English the official national language and crack down harder on immigration. Whether you agree with it or not, it's going to hit the economy fast. If you want full updates, I'm going to be posting everything on my Instagram and Substack, so follow me there.
So here's the deal with the executive orders. I don't think they're going to work. And I'm not trying to be a pessimist here, but I really don't think that they'll work, and this is why. So we need to first look at, well, how in the world did we even get to the point of this executive order having to take place? Because here's the deal. This executive order is basically just reinstating a pre-existing law that was sort of taken out of effect, right? I mean, for a very, very long time, it was against the law federally to not be able to read, write, or speak English and be a truck driver in the United States of America, right? And previous administrations began to backpedal on that. Why did they do that? Because these corporate oligarch elitists who basically collectively own the majority of wealth and power in this country, and the central bankers above them who work hand in hand with them, they want cheap third world labor in the trucking industry because it does two things that massively benefit them. Number one is it keeps American truck drivers, American workers, poor. Okay, this is a debt-based economy. That's very important to remember. In a debt-based economy, they need a handful of things to exist with us, the working class, in order for them to thrive and survive. They need us to be poor. They need us to stay in debt, and they cannot have us making enough money to start paying off debt and start actually owning assets. And I don't mean going and signing for a loan and possessing an asset that the bank owns. I mean actually physically paying off an asset and owning it. They can't have that. And if this executive order that Donald Trump has put into place actually begins to come to fruition, like people are saying it will, where he's given the DOT and the FMCSA 60 days to purge the industry of these guys. If there were hypothetically a deportation that took place where all of these guys were gone through with a fine-tooth comb, selected and kicked out of the country, which could be done very easily, by the way, that's exactly what would happen. You see, we would start seeing the small companies begin to thrive again. We would see the owner-operators thriving again. We would see the employees of the small companies thriving again. And we would see the big guys going belly up. And that's because there's no more cheap labor. There's no more third world labor in the trucking industry. When you run into a situation like this, people start paying off debt, right? And you can't have that in a debt-based economy. They have to constantly keep us in debt and poor. They have to toe this very, very fine line of not having us too poor to where people get together and they begin to revolt. Because the reason people haven't done that yet is because they're not actually starving yet, right? We're broke. We're very, very, very broke, but we're not actually starving yet, right? We all talk about being broke, and we are, but we still have creature comforts. We still go eat fast food. We go eat sometimes. We are able to buy clothes most of the time. We're able to have Netflix and Hulu and all these different things. That doesn't mean we're not broke, but it means that we still have creature comforts, and that's exactly what they want. They want to toe that very, very fine line to where we're not broke enough to where we begin to get together and really realize what's going on and revolt, but to where we're broke enough to where we can't afford to actually get out of debt and pay debt off. That's the name of the game. So it would just begin to start this wave, this ripple effect across America where people are...
Let's start with the English-only rule. Donald Trump signed off a law that all truckers must speak English to operate on US roads. Now, some folks cheered that one, thinking it would make things more quote-unquote American or quote-unquote safe, or whatever buzzword Fox News was using that day. But here's the twist. A lot of hard-working immigrant truckers, especially Latino and African drivers who speak limited English but still do the job well, are now being pushed out or being penalized. And guess what? That's a whole section of the trucking workforce just cut off. These were the very people who helped keep goods moving during COVID. They were not asking for much, just fair pay and respect. Instead, they got a language test. It's like being told, thanks for your service, now get lost. And many of the truckers who voted for Trump are now seeing fewer co-workers, longer hours, and more pressure to cover those gaps. Now let's talk about the American ports, or what is left of them. Thanks to Trump's trade war and tariffs, the ports are dead quiet. Containers are sitting still. Ships are not coming in like they used to. Orders from overseas have slowed down, and the economy is choking on its own bad policies. And that hits truckers first. When ports slow down, truckers get fewer loads. Less cargo means less money. Some drivers are sitting around for days with nothing to haul. Some companies are cutting back hours or letting people go altogether. And let's be new, it's not because truckers are not working hard, it's because the politicians we've voted for broke the global supply chain trying to play tough guy with China. So now we have trucks with no freight, ports with no traffic, truckers with no jobs. It's like voting for a fire and then wondering why your house is burned. What's wild is watching some of these truckers blame immigrants, liberals, or even other workers instead of the guy they voted for. Like somehow, the people at the bottom are the problem, not the billionaire president who pushed America into an avoidable economic mess. The truth is, Trump's policies were never built for working people, not truckers, not farmers, not teachers. They were built for profit, media attention, and control. So now, as reality hits, you see the same truckers who are MAGA crying about fuel prices, regulations, and dry ports, but they still refuse to admit that they helped buy this mess with their foot. That's far for in a little time. Imagine for a second what would have happened if truckers and other working class folks have voted based on policies instead of slogans. Imagine if they had asked, what is this guy's plan for supply chain, for infrastructure, and for fair wages? Instead, many people were pulled in by race baiting, fear of immigrants, and empty promises about quote-unquote bringing job backs, when in fact the jobs were being pushed further out of by tariffs, body deals, and isolation nonsense. And now, trucking schools are shutting down, independent drivers are selling off their rigs, families are scraping by, and all they got in return was a photo and a language test. This is not just about truckers. It's a bigger story about how voting against your own interests comes back to bite you. People thought Trump was going to drain the swamps, instead he drained the ports. People thought that he'd protect American workers, instead he hurt the industries they depend on. And while billionaires get tax breaks, everyday people are left scrabbling for jobs that used to be steady. Truckers are the backbone of America, but under Trump's rule, that backbone got bent, and now it's breaking. So next time you're stuck in traffic behind an empty rig or see her quote-unquote help wanted sign at the port with no one praying, remember that's the sound of a and for some of these truckers, it's a loud. To all the drivers out there, we see you, we know you work hard, but maybe next time, vote for the policy, not the personality. Because owning the lips won't fill your gas tanks, fix your wages, or keep freight moving on. You messed around, you found out. Let's hope next generation of truckers doesn't repeat the same mistake. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.